Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Now, everybody knows everything about him.
That was great to see that footage back there. You know, I don't get to see that.
Really?
No, you know, I don't get to watch any of the. I don't really ever watch any of the Grand Prix. I never get to see footage like that. So, when I see something like that, it's like watching Ayrton Senna. It's like watching my idol. You know, it's really a strange thing for me to experience.
And what's it like to have your own statue at Madame Tussauds?
That's very weird. I haven't seen it, but people tell me it's very, very close.
You haven't seen it?
No.
I believe there's this 40-foot giant cutout of yours in Chennai.
Yeah, I heard that as well. That must be really strange.
Did you see it? Did you get a chance to take a picture with it?
No.
Have any of you all seen it? A 40-foot long cutout. Maybe we'll give it to you. Can you take it back with him?
No. Why would I want to take my own picture back with me?
For fun, to remember us by. So how's Chennai treating you?
Very well, very well. I literally flew out. It's such a short trip every time. It's my third time to India, but every time I come, I think the support and the interest in Formula One is growing constantly, and so I'm so grateful for Vodafone for having me out here again. I always come here and I get such great response from the fans. They make me just so happy. I mean, today it was great fun, obviously, because I was driving the car. But,
yeah, you were.
But generally, they're just very, very pleasant people to be around, so I'm really happy.
I met someone who sat in the car with him this morning and said, you know, it's just surreal because we're sitting there thinking, oh my God, I'm going to have a heart attack. And he's driving there and you were just using one hand and waving to the fans with the other. Was that for style or is that how you do it?
I don't do that in Formula One, that's for sure. No, it's just for fun. It's just for, you know, of course, to make them think that I'm more relaxed than I really am.
Right. Now, you know, you've got this really confident style of driving. Are you ever nervous? Are you ever thinking, oh my God, this is really fast while you're on the track?
No, I never worry about the speed. You know, it's something. Even when you're traveling at 200 miles an hour, it's nothing really you don't think about that. But I think the time you're probably nervous is just before the start because you think everything you've worked for, everything you've put into, everything the team has worked for comes down to this moment, you know, this moment of me putting everything together, not making a mistake on the start, not making a mistake at the beginning in the first corner. So that's probably the most nerve-wracking part of the whole weekend.
And then you don't get to think at all after that.
After that, it's a breeze, generally. That's the hardest part, probably, of the whole weekend.
And you have the distinction of actually being fantastic in wet conditions, which is a nightmare for most drivers.
Yeah, I don't know where I get that from, but I think
it's in the UK, rain.
Yeah, in UK it rains so much. So whilst I was growing up, I was testing and practicing in the wet constantly. And there's actually a real knack to the wet, which many drivers don't actually realize. There's you know, basically the rubber off our tires, the dry line, gets very slippery. Basically, when it rains, rain and rubber don't mix very well together. So you go off the dry line, and you find extra grip there. And some tracks it works, some tracks it doesn't. But it's really about finding the grip level. And I don't know, I managed to find it better than others.
Yeah, you do that. Of course, next time you want to practice in wet weather, come to Mumbai. Yeah. We got lots of rain.
Really?
Chennai has the same amount of rain or lesser? Slightly lesser.
I was flying over some of the fields and they're all flooded. I mean,
that would be great for you.
Is that rain?
That's rain.
Really?
Those are not rivers. That's rain.
Bleeding heck! I've never seen so much water.
All right, now I have some serious questions for you about F1 from F1 fans. With Mark Webber 5 points ahead of you, Alonso 16 points behind, Jenson Button and Vettel in hot pursuit, and only 5 races in the season to go, how do you think it's going to pan out?
I think it's going to plan out good. I mean, that doesn't sound too good. It was 40 points difference between some of those guys. So in the last race, I lost a lot of points. But no, I mean, I think we've got a long way to go still. 5 races, it's quite a lot of races left. And I think our car, we generally go into these other circuits, people assume that our car won't be very quick. But I think with the way the regulations have been changed the last couple of races and the improvements that we have coming, I feel very optimistic. I was in a simulator testing on Wednesday, and testing for Singapore and for Japan. Right. And the car feels fantastic. So I really hope that it correlates to the circuit in real time, and I hope that we're able to. We have to basically finish on the podium for the next. If Mark continues to be competitive, we need to be able to finish on the podium for the next 5 races. So
see, 3 visits to India, thanks to Vodafone, you become part Indian, and Indians are over 1 billion, and we all pray for people we love. We're going to pray for him, right? We are. So you've got all our blessings and all our support and all our million gods with you.
My girlfriend thinks I look Indian, so.
True, you could be part of us. All right. What are also your thoughts on the new rules this season in F1? Do you think not allowing refueling at pit stops has taken away some of the excitement?
I think at the beginning of the season, I think everyone thought that that would be the case, but I think it's been quite exciting. Obviously, the first race was quite boring. Even for me to race, it was quite boring. And in some of the races, like Monaco, for example, that wasn't very exciting. But other circuits, I think it's been great because there's every year is a different technique that you have to apply to to adapt to. And I think you start the race on 150 kilos of fuel, and then bit by bit through the race, the car gets lighter and lighter and lighter, and it changes constantly. So you can push more or less from the start. And it's really about managing your tires from the beginning, saving fuel, all these different techniques that you can put into the race helps. And I think it's exciting. Probably people don't get to see that kind of thing, fuel saving and brake saving, all that stuff, but it really does make a difference.
Okay. And I believe I read somewhere that if Formula One hadn't worked out for you, you would have probably taken up football professionally.
Yeah, well, someone might have said that. I don't know. I wasn't that good at football. I'm just very fit. I was generally able to run up the field twice as many times as everyone else. So maybe that would have got me a job.
Do you think that would get you into Arsenal?
No, you know what? No, what? I wasn't too bad actually. I used to play with Ashley Young, and I would easily keep up with Ashley, and he's a very, very top player now. So, but I'm terrible at football now, so I suck.
Now, are you ever scared while driving?
No.
Never. Never. No doubts ever.
Never.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Now tell us about your foundation.
Are you scared when you're driving?
No, I love to drive fast. I didn't take a ride with him because I said, no, I'd like to drive. Why sit with him? So could we do that tomorrow?
No, I'm flying home tonight. Next time.
Next time, the fourth trip to India.
Next time, no problem. We have to get a few more cars because both cars were kind of dying.
Right.
After
What does a car look like once you're finished with it?
I wouldn't advise anyone else uses it, that's for sure. No.
And I would never let you drive my car.
I wouldn't, any advice to anyone is people come up to me and say, oh, please drive my car, please drive.
Really?
The worst thing you could ever do is give a racing driver your car because you have no brakes, no fuel, and no tires left,
Yeah. So if you can deal with that, I think you could offer him your